The grand final of the FiSH Cup, everybody. By the way, talking about the FiSH Cup, I got a lot of questions on the live stream. Why exactly is it called the FiSH Cup? Honestly, guys, it's pretty simple. The guy that sponsors the tournament is called FiSH, or his nickname is FiSH, so that's why it is the FiSH Cup. It's one of the Korean sponsors that is still trying to keep the Korean tournament scene alive, since they have a bit of a lack of tournaments. So this is, I think, the second or even the third tournament that he himself sponsored and is part of organizing it. So a big shout out to him. But yes, the FiSH Cup, the grand final is starting. We have a best of 5, and we're starting this time with all direct pass and another Vala pick. This is the second Vala in 13-14 games that we're now seeing. Usually she is insta-banned, but you can already tell on the bans that there are a lot of preference bans happening. Now, first of all, this is a massive map, so Falster got banned. I assume Dehaka will be picked very early. There he is. We got Zeratul to make sure that, yeah, Zeratul can't jump into that backline. And of course, we have Gonda here, so yeah. Got a couple of really strong players on the side of both teams. Relic, Gonda in here. On the other side, we got Capybara. Pentheos against Team Tino. But we're still not quite sure if it's Team Tino or Team Dino, because could be both, giving Hangul. But yeah, anyways, Junkrat also banned, and on top of that, we got Fat Illidan banned out. Shen is not going to be part of this party. Malfurion is in, which leaves us with a potential... no, Lucio's already taken, so not really. But with Garrosh, I still want to see that Garrosh Zarya. Like, in the third place decider, we saw Mei Zarya and how much this combo actually did. And if you're now looking at what Pentheos is playing here, just imagine Zarya in the setup. You have a great move for Garrosh with the level 4 talent. You can protect Vala together with Malfurion, so that would be a pretty neat lineup for them to use. I would really like that. It's interesting to me that they ban out Tracer. Vala, Tracer, Malfurion, that would have been pretty crazy, but yeah. I mean, one way or another, I don't expect that we're seeing crazy picks like Abathur and the Vikings being played here. This is Korean meta after all, and they don't value those heroes highly. When you take a closer look at the European scene, then those obviously are always available as a bit of a niche pick. It's not like they're getting picked every time you play Cursed or Alterac, but they're always a consideration on a big map, and teams have to keep that in mind when they're drafting and just keep an eye on that. But here we have, for now, still the need for a main tank for Capybara, and you can see that his Diablo gets banned out. Now, I've been talking about how strong his Diablo is, and when I did, obviously, he played a game on Diablo and he got absolutely murdered. He got focused on the front line so hard, and he got just shut down time and time again. Made him look a little bit bad in that situation, but since we have the continued bans against Diablo whenever he's playing, you can see that there's quite a few players and teams that respect his performance on that hero, even though he had one game where he couldn't shine completely. Now, we have him this time on Muradin, with Tychus now also locked in. But what we still need is a side laner for Team Pentheos. And, of course, we could also still see that Zarya pick. But I don't think it's going to happen. They don't play her often. There's Genji, and there is Leo. Both solid picks, don't get me wrong. Good picks, for sure. But, yep, it is a nice one. A nice lineup. Yeah, with all of that said and done, our last pick is coming in. All direct pass. Final pick for Team Tino. They need some additional damage. They have two choices. Second range damage dealer. Or go into triple melee. Lulnara this time, not taken. Not picked. And our last pick is Lulnara. There we go. Alright guys, all direct pass, the grand final. Let's find out which team takes the lead here. Another best of 5 series. We're heading into the first map. All direct pass. Pentheos against Tino, the grand final of the FiSH Cup. Gonda on Garrosh, we got Bear on Leoric, Relic on Vala, heading into a multi-shot build, sorry, an arrow build. Wookie with Malfurion, and we got Sekiro on Genji, the blue team, trying to apply pressure, whereas on the right side of the map we have Capybara on Muradin, we get Wishing on Lucio, Clutter on Tychus, Seong on Lulnara, and Tech is playing Dehaka. Okay, let's get this party started and see which team is able to decide the final in their favor and claim victory here at the FiSH Cup. Obviously, we have some really strong contenders here. Both of them were fighting tooth and nail in the semifinals to advance. But Team Pentheos in particular, they had a very insane series. against Team Cat. I mean, that series was just absolutely incredible. It was mind-blowing, some of those comebacks that we saw there. And a really fun one to watch. And Team Cat, obviously, they were able to decide the third place Deciders match in their favor with a clean 3-0. So definitely a bit of a difference in skill level, at least in our third place Decider. That might translate even into the grand final, but time will tell. For now, it's like Lunara is already in trouble. So Bambi nearly getting murdered down here. And, yep. I kind of like the aggression that we're seeing from Genji against her. Keeping her low is going to be really important. Most of the Lunara's players that we've seen so far, especially after level 10 with the Leaping Strike, did an enormous amount of damage and had huge kill potential. But if Genji can keep her low and on the back foot, then they might have an easier time here once level 10 hits and these team fights are starting to ramp up a little bit. As far as the objective goes, usually on the map, the more important part is the mercenary camp. You see the prison camps, of course, being fought over. But in the early game, in most cases, it's not really going to be a commitment from either side until level 7. Sometimes even level 10 is available for the teams. So around level 7, we can expect the first pokes on the prisoner camps. All the way top side. Yep, there's already Dehaka against Leo in the middle. A bit of a poke happening too, as both of those camps are going to collide right now. And these are super important. You pretty much got to take them whenever they come off cooldown. Level 7 for Lunara, also going to be something to watch out for. Splinter Spear or the Choking Pollen. Let's see what they're going to play it out with. Leo, in this case, went on level 1 for the Consume Vitality. And with level 4, we are getting the Ghastly Reach now. Typical talents also for Vala. Repeating Arrow, obviously, after level 1. Indomitable from Garrosh. And they're trying to go for Lucio here early on. Muradin also missing the Stormbolt. He goes into the double clap, so we're likely going to see the level 13 healing static as a synergistic talent pick to make sure that you have even more sustain in big team fights. Master Assassin is also in play, and Genji has gone for the Dragon Claw once again. Now the objective is up. In another 20 seconds, the teams have the potential to move in and try and take it. I don't really see it happen early on. Lunara is also just jumping around, Song obviously using the Wisp for some scouting at the sides here too. Vala has some serious stacks already, considering how early in the game we are right now. 7 stacks is not really too shabby. And yeah, it's not Christmas yet, baby. That's, by the way, one of the things that Spain doesn't do well. Coming from one of the more northern European countries, I gotta say that I was thoroughly disappointed with Christmas in Spain. I'm used to Christmas markets, to mulled wine, spices, and all of these things. And Spain doesn't really have that. So they are really good with fires here in Valencia. They have some other holidays where they also do absolutely fantastic, a lot of fireworks and things. But Christmas is just not the same thing here. First of all, it's warm in December, relatively warm, compared to, let's say, Germany, or if you're going even farther north. But Christmas is something that is just weird here, so yeah. But again, a little bit of a side tangent. Vala is getting another arrow connected as she gets the hit in on Muradin, and is obviously going to attempt to get even more here. Is sitting at 8 right now, number 9 any moment. There it is, and a quick leap, or sorry, a quick vault allows her to get another one connected with Lunara, which nearly kills Bambi. So, yeah, needs to be very, very careful here. That's 10 arrows in total now that connected. Level 7 is in. Also solved the mystery on what happens on Lunara's side. She went into Choke and Pollen on this one. And our Dwarf is going for the heavy impact. Every time I see that talent taken, I remember the times when heavy impact actually stunned people. When you could get a stun out of this, and Muradin could pretty much perma-stun anybody. When they introduced that back then, it was so unbelievably OP. It reminded me a bit of the old Kel'Thas days. Was that still beta, or was that already at launch? Yeah, Kel'Thas was in a similar spot with his Flame Strike. Just Flame Strikes, living bombs, he just could insta-kill an entire team. Now talking about killing things, Dehaka is dead, so the dinosaur is extinct once again, at least for now. Tychus is very much alone at the bot lane, by the way. He's enjoying his freedom here. And it is taking the minions down. Boosting his siege damage a little bit. But as the camp spawn, as I said before, once they reappear, you want to make your move there. That's what they do. Vala by now also hitting this. Nobody really going too heavily on the objective yet, as you can tell, and I talked about this a bit earlier. But the red team is trying to get there first before the level 10 is ready. And honestly, I think they might be able to make that happen. Especially since they just locked in the kill against Genji. So yeah, the prisoners are out. Yep, we get our raiders in play. Vala with a bit more damage, vaulting forward, gets saved by Garrosh. Haha, Relic with insane aggression there. And he probably realized very quickly too, mistakes were made. Now, that little lead and experience that Team Pantheus was holding is now more or less destroyed. They have the early level 10 granted, but it is very quickly negated by the red team. Now on level 10, we have the Rain of Vengeance for the stun. Here's the leaping strike, mirrored in a bit low, pops the avatar and is able to jump out. Lucio in the meantime with the sound barrier again. Vala boosting the damage a bit, sitting at 15 stacks for now on the arrow. Bot side, Genji is dealing solo with the Raider, at least trying to. All the way up at the top, we have Leo and Dehaka still going toe-to-toe. With those drains obviously being super important for Bear here in order to survive. Yeah, there's the leaping strike. And he gets kept alive by the Fountain and Malfurion. Nicely done. Yeah, but Lunara, as the game continues, she is obviously going to be one of the best damage dealers here. 19,000 for her for now. Vala should be able to secure herself the top spot, especially if Relic is in a position where he can keep stacking the way that he currently does here. Is able to lock another one in against Capybara. And they are abusing the fact that the red team is on the camp now by taking the entire wall. I mean, that's 3-4 seconds that they had, and they used them perfectly. The entire wall is destroyed, and that is pretty good for them, considering that they had to suffer through the first prisoner onslaught, that first raider onslaught. And it cost them quite a few structures, especially, of course, with the walls there themselves. Now, Genji hasn't really participated in the fights too much. He's still holding tight against Tigers down at the bottom of the map and has to zip away from this one. But over here, mid lane, not too much happening. Full collapse on Genji. Does he have the Swift Strike? And the answer is no. He got crushed. He got absolutely crushed there. No chance of survival. They jumped in and took him down. Here's the taunt as Gonda is looking for a fight. And I mean, he might be looking a little bit too hard here. That was a nice flip on Wookiee to save Malfurion. But the fort is still down. And I guess they bought some time for Vala to take the camp. But that was quite the gamble that they took there. And it cost Malfurion an important cooldown. Now, then again, Muradin also used Avatar, so it's not like he's the only one who went for the Arrrr. Healing static by now. Synergy with the level 4 talent is in. Camp should be popping up in a second, yes, and I don't think they have the time to deal with it. If there is pressure on the prisoner camp. Yeah, the cavalry was thrown into Twitter jail, and that's an opportunity to now release them here. Level 13 also gives us a siphoning arrow. Yeah, and that's pretty much the moment when you can make your play. When you know that there's someone on the camp top side, but they took this very quickly. 13 talents are available on both. And Genji is still down at the bot lane. I'm curious when the blue team is going for some big team fights. Sound barrier is out. Okay, that didn't connect with a whole lot here. And Lucio is immediately in trouble. And Genji wants him. Has to pull back though. Gonda low and Gonda down. Gonda is dead as Muradin is going for the hammer time. And he nearly gets a kill on Genji too, but has to move back out of the fight as he was dropping even further low in HP. Now that the trade is starting to kick in, he's of course recovering his hit points very quickly. And we have 4 kills to 1. And another opportunity for Team Tino to take objective number 2. 21 stacks for Vala. But, yep, they are starting to have some problems here. Garrosh is coming back, but there's already quite some progress for the red team on the objective. So if they can just hold out a bit longer for another 15 seconds, they will have the second one. Yeah, Entomb is not too bad, but the problem is there's no follow-up just yet. There's absolutely 0 follow-up, but at least not enough. A bit of a threat against Tychus. There's nowhere near to take him down. Adaptation used by Dehaka. No problem staying alive here. And objective number 2 claimed by the red team. They now even go for Gonda, and he is gonna die, isn't he? Yeah, Muradin, he's jumping in deep and is looking for even more kills. There's no fort at the bot lane anymore, so they have a shot of going for Genji. And Genji, can he swift strike out? Yes, maybe. Stormbolt. He doesn't have it. But they could go for Leo. But Lucio is dead. Lucio is dead. So is Leo. And they get Valla too. Oh boy. Oh, Lunara, he has to be careful here. Oh dear. That might be a bit too much for her. But no, she takes him down. That's the end of everybody on the blue team side. 5-man team wipe. Everybody eliminated. 9 kills to 3. And all of a sudden, the keep itself is in trouble. The fort in the mid lane won't stand a chance. Up at the top, of course, this one is going to fall too. It's all about the keep at the bottom of the map now. And it seems like there is no way to make this happen. Yeah, this is looking real tricky. Well, actually, they might save it. If they would have stayed a bit longer, they might have gotten the keep. Honestly, I think that might have been worth it. Either way, they got 2 forts out of this, and they nearly destroyed the keep at the bottom of the map. So, yeah, there's that. But level 13 talents are now added to the 16, or other way around. Unfair advantage is in. There's a fair amount of slows that they have. They got a lot, actually. Muradin with a good clap can help out. Tehaka with the tongue. So, yeah, there's quite a lot of stuff that they can do with all of this. Now, as you can already tell, right now, we're looking at 16 versus 16 fights, and in this case, we have Seething Hatred. So no Manticore for the auto attacks against someone like Muradin, but just speccing even more into the arrow lineup. The damage output on Valla is at 44,000 now. Lunara can't quite keep up with that. And Rally gets attacked. They really want him. Another Entomb, but the follow-ups aren't there. Oh dear! No way! That was insane! Bambi got nearly murdered and somehow stayed alive. There's the Dragon Genji, and he himself gets the shield. Sound barrier has been used too. Genji is dead. Oh my god. A lot of this is really unlucky for Pentheus, but great control by Team Tino. Lunara staying alive in this last fight was just insane. And of course now she can unleash all that wrath that she built up. Lunara is actually popping off here. It seems like someone told her that Team Pentheus killed her mom. But Bambi is going ham here. Bambi is angry. Bambi is going for aggression. Bambi is going for the top damage spot. Trying to contest Valla. 50,000 is 56,000, but Relic is still murdering those arrows and hitting them straight. The keep is already gone. The core, therefore, only relying on 2 armor shields. And 13 kills to 3, 10 kill advantage. And now they're moving into the middle. But holy hell. Yeah, they are popping off there. I can't believe that Genji was not able to connect any of those shurikens with Lunara. It really felt like just one hit was needed. And Lunara was always a bit out of range. Incredible. Yeah, now they even go for the boss at the top. And with Garrosh down for another 5 seconds, that should be absolutely no problem for them. And they can even go for a double boss play, to be honest with you. They have to think a little bit about how they want to play this out now. Do they want to, for example, play double boss? Do they want to use this one to push through the top? Could even use this one as a distraction to go for the objective. I mean, there's so many plays that they can make now. And as they are getting closer and closer to level 20, this is, of course, something where they will, with Storm Talents, be able to even exude more control over the map. Tychus has taken over. Look at that, our bad boy has surpassed Lunara, but none of them can reach Valla. Valla is just way ahead of them. But they need kills. They don't need damage, they need kills. They have a 39 stacks on the arrow, some serious damage on the initial impact. Leo is the one defending the top against the boss, but half a level is all that's missing for level 20, and that's the moment when Team Tino is starting to go for the objective. Now, the blue team is going to delay this for as long as they can, but once the Storm Talents are closing in, they will have to fall back. I don't think that they are going to be willing to fight here. That would surprise me. Yeah, and by now we got the big red button, then that in and of itself is already crazy. You got the rewind too, so Muradin has that set up. Bit of damage coming out down here. But yes, Tranquility is out, and guys, I don't know, fighting against the 20 is rough. I mean, they're caught between a rock and a hard place, right? Either you fight against 20 or you just let another objective move in. Either way, you're in trouble. And now that Garrosh is dead, they're in even more trouble than they thought they'd be in. Because another drag connects, and that is going to be the end of Malfurion. Tychus completes the Master Assassin. The only reason you take that talent is so they get the passive. And now he even gets the completion. And he is just crushing on it. Completed Master Assassin's quest on Tychus. The game should be over right here, right now, especially with Vala getting destroyed. There is no chance that they can bring this, that they can defend this. This is just not happening. 71,000 damage on Vala, but as you can see, that's 18 kills now against 3, and oh my god! Team Tino with a big performance in game number 1 as Pantheus is getting murdered. A second 5-man team wipe as the red team secures the victory on map number 1 in the best of 5 grand final of the FiSH Cup. GG. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. Map number 2, we're going to Towers of Doom in the grand final of the FiSH Cup. And, well, I have to admit that I had Team Pantheus pegged as the favorite in the series, but Team Tino kind of spiked them a little bit on the last map. So maybe the blue team can turn that around, and it was just the first map that, yeah, got out of control a little bit, but we'll see. The main reason why I thought that team... Again, these teams have been drafted specifically for the tournament, so it's not like we're having any kind of history outside of the tournaments on those teams. And so the reason why I thought that Pantheus had the upper hand here is because they were the team that played in the semifinal against Team Cat. And it was an absolute nail-biter, and any one of these two teams could have won. And Team Cat dominated their third place deciders match against the opponent, the semifinal opponent of Team Tino. Therefore, you would have assumed that, you know, since they both are roughly on the same level, the blue team has a bit of a better handle on the grand final as well. But so far, the opposite was the case. Team Tino, just crazy team fights, a lot of narrow escapes that then led to a turnaround and kills. We're heading into Towers, and I guess this map is going to tell us a lot more of what to expect on the remaining maps here. We get Vala again, which is quite the surprise, because she has been banned so reliably. But they obviously played Vala already on the last map and weren't successful with her. So technically Vala is now at a 0% win rate in semi-finals, third place decider, and grand final, even though she usually gets banned very quickly. But they gave the priority on bans on the globals and banned out Dehaka and Falstad, which is absolutely understandable as well. After the performance of Tychus in the last one, we now get him banned too. And Zeratul just seems to be banned over and over again on the third position. So it stands to reason that if Team Pantheus wants to play Zeratul at any point in this game, they have to pick him before the third ban phase. But red team starts things off with Leo for the side lane rotation and Stukov as their support. Stitches gets banned. Yeah, of course, if you go Gorge and you can carry someone into the death zone, that is always super annoying. For similar reasons, you oftentimes see Garrosh picked here, since he can also just simply flip someone in, taunt them, and then the death zone is doing the rest. But with Stitches, you're a little bit more flexible on that. Now, Garrosh can also still throw a couple of the pumpkins around, so there's a lot of mechanics that work in his favor. But I guess we're gonna find out now what the main tank is, if we're seeing Muradin again or not. It's Diablo, of course, Capybara. Diablo has not been banned this time, so he picks it. And we have Greymane by Seong. So Greymane is in, Diablo and Leo. And on the other hand, we get a Blaze. Well, final two picks for the blue team. They still need their own main tank. Again, Muradin, Jojo, all options. It's actually surprising to me that we didn't see Johanna played more in the third place decider, simply because a lot of the players that were present there, they picked her a lot during the semis. But there's Maiev and we have Gonda, so another set of enormous CC for them, and this time they're playing a triple front line to allow Vala a lot of wiggle room in the back. She's going to have tons of space, or at least she should have a lot of space. And our final pick needs to be a damage dealer for Team Tino. So, what are they pulling off now? Lunara again? Nah, not this time. We're going Sylvanas in game number 2. Sylvanas Greymane. Towers of Doom, everybody. Second map in the best of 5 series here at the grand final. So let's find out if Team Pantheos can bring it back, or if we're going to see a 2-0 lead for Team Tino in the series. Game on! We're straight in map number 2, the lead of Team Tino. A well-deserved victory on Alterac Pass brings us straight into the second game, whereas on the left side we have Mei played by Gonda and Bear on Blaze. We got Sekiro on Maiev, Wookiee on Malfurion, and Relic playing Vala with Creed of the Noob Trap. What? Well... To be fair, the talent was changed, so it's not that much of a noob trap anymore, but I'm still pretty shocked to see that as a level 1 choice compared to either a multi-shot or an arrow setup. On the right side of the map, though, we got Team Tino with Capybara on Diablo, we got Wishing on Stukov, Clad on Sylvanas, Tech on Leoric, and Ilseong is playing Greymane. Alright, so it's going to be full auto attack style, and I gotta say, that is a lot of stacks this early in the game. Now, don't forget, the setup of Team Pantheos is a triple front line. Vala is going to have tons of space to get these auto attacks in. And oh my god, are they crushing the early game. What? 2 quick kills right here at the beginning of the game and 20 stacks for Vala already towards her level 1. Yeah, if that is any indication of what we're going to see in the next few minutes, then the blue team is likely going to dominate this heavily. I mean, oh my god. With that much slow and also the CC that Maiev brings, the engage, Vala should be able to stack her level 1 very, very quickly. Back in the days, that was the biggest noob trap ever. Some people were always trying to go for dings and stack her level 1, and it was one of the most atrocious talents that you could ever have picked in the game. But of course, that got changed quite a bit, and now it's not that bad anymore. You get actually a little bit more out of all of this. So much better than before. But we've still seen the arrow build dominate a lot, and in Europe, for example, the multi-shot build is mostly even preferred over any kind of arrow setup. But now we have an auto-attack style for Vala, and I gotta say that if the early game, if that first brawl is gonna be mirrored a few more times over an altar battle, then pff, she is going to just crush. Now, either way, we got already Death Dealer in as the level 2 talent, so yeah, Vala is going to go ham on this. Relic is really going for auto attacks, and if he's able to stack and then also get his level 16, then I really feel a bit sorry for Capybara. Because if you're Diablo and you have a Vala with Manticore and all of that auto attack going up against you in the late game, then you know that you have a problem on your hands. So they're trying to focus Vala down here, which so far doesn't work out. Relic is sitting at 30 stacks now. And this is a bit terrifying. With all the space that Vala has, with 3 frontliners protecting her, slowing the targets down, and giving her plenty of space and time to weave those auto attacks in, if you have good mechanics, you're gonna do work here. It's 2 kills to 0 and a small lead in experience as the first objective is announced. And yep, it will be a very, very fun game. Now, as we headed into the game, I expected Team Pantheos to be the favorite. And in map number 1, they got bodied hard. Team Tino was way stronger. Now in the second game, this is where we're going to find out a lot about the series. And here comes the attack in the mid lane. Once again, Vala. Vala moving around with another Death Dealer. One auto attack after another. They're trying to go for Greymane, but they can't get the kill. But Vala is sitting now at 50 stacks. 50 stacks at the 3-minute mark. She already locks in the 25% here. So, yep, that is a very, very quick progress from her. So, Relic is gonna have some serious fun with this. Because right now you get your bonus damage slowly stacked up over here. And at the same time, of course, you also have your attack speed and everything else. If they can keep Vala alive, Relic is going to crush, and he's gonna crush hard. Yeah, Sylvanas coming in the back. Relic already moving away again. Needs to, of course, stay safe here. But here on level 7, we now also have the Hot Pursuit. So, yeah, where's the damage? Relic's damage should already be pretty solid. Yeah, he's at 10,000. Sylvanas is a bit higher at the 11k that she brings to the table. But this lineup is a big threat if she can scale properly. I'm interested to see how Relic is going to play this out. And obviously, at some point, the red team has to start focusing on her a bit more. We've seen this in the last game already. And some of the games that all of us played, at least. They focused her heavily and put so much pressure on her that it was nearly impossible to keep her alive. But, yep, with that front line, have fun getting to her. That's going to be the biggest challenge. So, right now, a bit of a play through the middle. Down here, we have our attack straight up for the red team again as the slide comes through from Gonda. Obviously also prepping a little bit for Vala. And you can see that Capybara is just the entire time dancing around Vala here. In this case, it's actually Greymane that is a bit in trouble. But Relic is totally safe with all of this. Like, he is just enjoying that frontline safety. Yeah, another Death Dealer set up. They're getting the auto attacks in on Stukov, who has to rush out here. Gonda is a bit low, but that's 80 stacks for Vala now. And the next objective is up. The 3-for-2, the 2 versus 1 trade on the first triple altar has ended in favor of Team Pantheas as well. They only had to sacrifice one of the... Ooh, that was a deep dive. They only had to sacrifice one of the altars. But yep, now we're looking at nearly 100 stacks for Vala, so more and more damage coming together for her. Relic is just enjoying this. Yeah, he's having fun here. 95 stacks now. Now, they give up the altar. I mean, again, it's an easy sacrifice to make. You are still even in points on the core of your opponent. You can still work towards the level 10. You know perfectly well that you stack really well into the late game. So they know time is working in their favor. And this has always been a huge comeback map. If you are strong in the late game, that's the most important thing. Growing Infestation again. And we got the low blow too. So, yep, the 4-3 man setup is still moving down to the bottom. And there's the level 10 abilities now, with Greymane going for the throat. Vala at this point with the Rain of Vengeance for a bit of added safety. We got the Ice Wall, the Bunker, Containment Disc. Containment Disc, of course, after the recent patch also, with an extra silence after it expires, which is a bit crazy, to tell you the truth. Yeah, one more hit, and there's the 100. See, every 3 minutes, another 50 connects. So yeah, now he's sitting at 100 stacks already. Oh, but that is the kill on my F. That was nicely done. Malfurion was trying to counterplay that and get his own ult out, but that didn't happen in time. And he has the Entomb. Entomb, Ice Wall, and Vala is finally dead. Vala down. Loses this one, okay. And what else are we seeing from the red team now? Because with those 2 kills that they just got, they might not only be able to steal the pumpkins away, but maybe a little bit more. If they can use Sylvanas to go through the bottom of the map, for example, that would be kind of neat. If you're using Sylvanas and you're winning team fights, it's of course the ideal scenario because it allows you to be way more aggressive against your opponent, and that's what they're going to be looking for here too. Double altar is also up on the map now, and of course with the death timer still pretty low, they can now fight over both of them. They're literally tied for points on the core. It seems like they're zoning Leo out enough to complete the channel, and yes, so the first 4 shots are fired. They give up the bottom, so it's an easy exchange. 1 altar for each team, and therefore 4 shots against 4. 117 stacks by now for Vala, which puts her to 24,000 damage. She's the top damage dealer in the game. And Relic is working this in even further. I don't even want to know how this is going to look in on level 20. But, okay. Let's wait this out. Sylvanas is also getting mad damage out. And the one thing that Sylvanas is going for her is, of course, that added pressure on structures that she has. But Relic's movements here, I mean, he is just murdering it. Stukov down, great engage and force by my F. They try for another kill. Clutter jumps on the wave and is still taken down by my F. 2 killed, and they try to go for more. The wall is nearly done. Only 1 tower is standing, and yeah, there's 4 kills to 2. They're just absolutely bonkers. Level 13, we now got Gloom. That's in as well. We get the collision cores. And I'm a little bit scared right now for Team Tino. And it isn't really justified by the stats because it's 13 versus 13 and it's only a 2 kill difference. But I just see those stacks coming together for Vala so damn quickly that I'm afraid for Diablo, because the next talent is going to be 16, and then Manticore should be ready. And the way that he has been weaving in those auto attacks during the fights against the front line, whoever's closest there, is just scary as hell. If all of that connects with Capybara's Diablo, then his hit points should just melt away. Put the added pressure onto Stukov to heal him out, and then Maiev has an easier time engaging too. So I really want to see what happens around 16. If that's the moment, if that's the straw that breaks the camel's back, or if they can somehow still force fights on their own. Oh, careful, Gonda. Yeah, Turre, and the containment disc shuts it down. Tranquility is in too. And yep, continues for now. Maybe Bunker. Yep, has to use that, but I think he's still gonna die, isn't he? It looks like it. Yeah, goodbye. Goodbye, Blaze. Blaze is down. They were hoping for a counter kill, but they couldn't get that. 150, 160 stacks now for Vala. 2 levels to 16. Okay. So. Damage output as the 4 shots get fired and drop the core down to 24. We are looking at 40,000 for Vala. That's some insane damage. Oh my god. Wait until Manticore is in. Okay, so 100,000 siege damage for Leo. I mean, he is just moving between the lanes. Leo is a siege damage machine. He's crazy on that account. But there's Mei. She gets killed. Maiev is also barely making it out. There's the Entomb against Vala, and that's the end of her, isn't it? Yep, Vala is dead too. Team Tino with a double kill. Looking for a triple, using Sylvanas to take the bell tower, and all of a sudden they're on 16. Once again, they do the same thing they did in game number 1. They play an even game with the opposition, and then at some point they just explode. They have one moment where they go big into the team fight, commit to it, get multiple kills, and use that as a bit of a springboard to take structures down. That's exactly what we're seeing here. So now we have the pumpkins moving through the bottom of the map. Level 16 is available to them, which gives them the Will of the Forsaken, and they're just starting to chase heroes even further. Oh, Malfurion counters the Lightning Breath with a Tranquility and is able to stay alive. Of course, they traded the cooldowns here, but oh boy, that was dangerous. Dangerous play here. Yeah, Vala, of course, is another problem. I mean, that's her dying. So if you go into that level 1 quest, you need to make sure that they're not dying too much. Because, again, it's one of those typical Gambit talents that we now have on multiple heroes. Where every single death makes sure that you lose some of your bonus. And that's more or less what's happening here. But here's a level 16. So now she has level 16. She died twice. So that keeps her, I believe, with 2 stacks left. Shots are fired, and bam, we're at 19. And another 5 connect, so it's 14 to 25 as we had the final ones connecting in. But yeah, so at this point, you have Manticore finally available, and you can do some damage. The Gambit, again, the attack speed bonus is now being heavily reduced by 10% already. But the attack damage, that is a bit of a different story. So this is really coming together for her now. 184 stacks out of the 200 that you can get as a max. And yep, Relic still should lead the leaderboard. 49,000, yeah, easily. Maiev is also starting to move in now with 6 kills to 4. The advantage obviously goes to the red team, and they're still trying to protect the bottom bell tower that they took. And Stukov is very much alone now. The Ice Wall kind of trying to anticipate where he would walk, but he didn't do Mei that favor. So now instead, we have the full 5 versus 5 at the bot lane. The tether is in, and Diablo is fearing the wrath of Vala, who is maybe gonna die again. Yes! That goes down again. Leo dies too, but that means that there's only a single stack left on the Gambit for Vala. So the attack speed is now significantly reduced. Her damage, of course, being increased further and further the more stacks she gets together and more of the quests she completes. But still, that is kill number 3 against the damage dealer. And another one would drop her down to the 5%. Now, top right, top left, we get the altar phase. 5 kills to 7. And they are currently thinking about trying to steal both of them away, which might even be possible. But there's also the chance to go for a kill here. Forcing the bunker, that's already great, because it means it will be missing for a potential fight around the objective, so good for them. Yeah, Blaze by now is also 100,000 siege damage. Leo has pulled way ahead though. Sylvanas with the channel on the right side. Diablo stunned. Ice Wall. Dibbles in real trouble. And he goes down. Bought them some space and time. Wishing is about to be killed. And that's the end of Stukov. Nicely done. They get 2 kills. And all of a sudden, the blue team has a chance again, and they are trying to go for even more than that. Leoric getting dropped 2 means that now 3 heroes are down, and there are still 5 on the map for the blue team, allowing them to go for an easy boss. It's 9 points on the board against 25. But not only are they going to take the boss, they also have the channel here. That's 8 points off the core. So we are having 9 points against 17. No, it's actually not true. They only have 3 here. My bad, my bad. So they're going to be on 17 to 25. Yep, another 3 are going to come in just a few seconds. So 17 to 18 to 25 it is. 18 to 9 it is. So they're doubling it right now. But 19 versus 19. And the 20 talent, I mean, in any other circumstance, I would say Farfight Quiver. But in the Korean games that we've seen, we might have Rancor on level 20. I mean, normally Farfight Quiver is really the talent to take, but yes, as you can see, there's a slight difference in the Cremata. No, they go for the Farfight Quiver. Okay, so they got it. They got it, yeah. We had a couple of adjustments in the past there that were way more aggressive, but that now allows her to keep herself farther in the back. Only 1 Gambit death still there, but yeah. And 18 stacks, and she's going to be at a maxed out level 1 talent. And that, of course, is going to be reflected in the damage even further. Leo trying to take out the trash here. The generalist in the house. Mopping up the floor of the opponent's team. 70,000 damage for Vala. Relic is crushing it there. But again, these entombs from Leo that land on Vala, they are always the biggest threat. Talking about Leo, gets attacked up at the top here. But now double altar phase, top side. 4 altars to 4. Yeah, the Tether and Capybara, alright. Careful, and well, Vala in the bunker, there we go. And they're trying to go for the next quick kill against Diablo at the front. Look at Vala just melting him down here. Hit after hit after hit. Leo also just ghosting out, and the red team is doing... I mean, they're doing a lot worse now in the team fights. The last 2 that happened, they were early retreating because of all the damage they received. So they need a good angle again. They definitely have the lineup. If they just get a good Stukov lurking out, for example, they can do a lot here. And Sylvanas is also chipping in a ton of damage. She's at 47,000. Sorry, 43,000. Greyman with another 48, which is a ton, of course, if they can coordinate onto the same target. Quest fully completed for Vala now. The attack still going strong over here. 14 points to 9 on the core. And Maiev threatening to engage again. Hasn't happened thus far, but there's the engage. And Tomb also against Vala once again. Diablo with a lightning breath. The push, and May is alive. Stukov saved May. No, that was unlucky, and Diablo is now down. The consequences of that little move is both of the frontliners are dead. So is Stukov, and oh boy, they're gonna take Greymane down as well. That is a disaster. That is an absolute disaster. Sylvanas is able to blink out, but now we're talking multiple bell towers that are probably going to be taken here. The one in the middle obviously doesn't stand a chance. I mean, duh. But they could take another one. So that's at least 5 shots fired, maybe even more. Boss is up in 1.5 minutes, so that's still plenty of time. But yeah, this one hurts. Sylvanas sneaking the camp was kind of important. 5 shots are being fired. 9 points to 9. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, absolutely. So yeah, 9 points on each side and 12 kills to 7. Vala is nearly joining the 6 digits club as she's going for the 100,000 damage. We have the big pressure play through the bottom of the map to control the bot lane completely. The most important lane on the map, since you have 2 pumpkin camps moving through it, threatening the core. And over here, we have at least a retake of the middle. Yeah, it's pretty... I mean, there's a lot of back and forth happening here, and we're closing in on the 20-minute mark. The only hero that hasn't died in the entire game is Malfurion. He got close once. At the bottom left defense, it was Diablo that nearly killed him with a lightning breath. But now the upper hand in Bell Towers give the control to Team Pantheos. And they are determined to defend that Bell Tower. Especially since the pumpkins are moving through. And the next objective is a single altar at the bottom of the map. So if you hold that Bell Tower, it's pretty much a freebie. Or your opponent has to very much so commit and risk getting crushed in the fight since they don't have a point to fall back to. Unless they are okay walking straight through the middle, and that's usually not a thing. So over here, Vala is padding her stats a little bit. She's crossed over into the 6 digits already. Leo is looking for that entomb. He wants Vala, but Relic knows that. So, yeah, they are dancing that little dance. Trying to stay in and out of range. And Maiev is moving down to the bottom of the map to take the channel. But I like the reaction of the red team. Instead of going for the altar, they're just saying, okay, the only thing that we can really do is we go up towards the top and we take the boss. So it's going to be 5 points to 4. Yep. Which makes it still a fairly even game, but with a slight advantage for Team Pantheos, of course. So the 4 shots, they get fired. And pretty much this game is going to be determined through the next team fight. Next team fight more or less determines the game. Yeah, we have few altars coming up, but given the situation on the map and the structural control that we see from the two teams, also the death timers, depending on how many heroes you kill, if you go into those fights now and you win the team fight big time, then the game is yours. Pumpkins at the bottom of the map. First game was won by Team Tino. Yeah, and now as they're claiming the spot, there's the defense getting into position at the bot lane. They need to prevent those pumpkins from moving in. Single altar in the middle will spawn next. For that, it would be great if the red team can retake their own bell tower. That would be fantastic. It's not really changing anything for them in regards to what would happen if they lose out on the bell tower, but it would change a lot just being able to move back towards your own fort and back to safety and just poke it out from there, slowly moving back into the range of the altar. But either way, they will have to take that battle. There's no other choice for them anymore. And it's going to spawn in 30. So if they have to take that battle, that choke point over here is going to become extremely important, an entire corridor. But they are instead moving straight into the middle and going to try to come in. They came from behind, pulling a Warcraft move. Yeah, they already know what's up. There's the first stun. It's the moment of truth right there. Gondar's getting attacked. There's the Entomb, the Buried Alive. And the setup on Leo takes him down. The Hellgate saves Diablo for another moment, but they're pulling them back already. The disc and the quick blink from Sylvana saves her, but the channel is already happening. Sekiro is not wasting any time, and that is game. That is game. Sylvanas dies, so does the core. The series is tied, everybody, as Team Pantheos locks in the W on Towers of Doom. Pantheos with a win. Vala with the final victory here. Yeah, but good performance by the blue team. So now we have the series tied. It seems like we're going to have a match on our hands after all. Nicely done. Vala getting banned since first pick has, of course, shifted this time. Now it's Team Tino that has first pick. And the red team was willing to give up Vala twice, so they don't really care too much. But if you look over to Team Pantheos, they very, very much do care. They are just saying, yeah, as long as you have the first pick, we're going to ban Vala out because that's just not happening. You're not going to get that hero. There are still a few similarities here, and I talked in the previous draft about how I feel every third ban, Zeratul is going to get eliminated, so if you want to play him, you have to pick him early. Now Team Tino is shutting out even that play since they banned him in the first rotation. And both teams don't want to go heavily into any kind of like macro play, it seems. Globals are continuously being banned here. Falstad and Dehaka don't make it into this game either. But that leaves Junkrat open. So this time, no Stukov, no Malfurion as a first pick. Instead, we're seeing Junkrat, countered by Malfurion on the other side. But Junkrat taken for Infernal Shrines, great poke of course. That leaves Tychus up, who with Odin is of course fantastic on this map. So the Malfurion and Tychus moves from Team Pantheos, very good picks. Stukov, a likely choice for Team Tino. It would be the obvious one. We've seen a couple of deviations away from Stukov, playing, for example, Lucio in one instance. We even had an Anduin picked early over him. There's also a map we can play Deckard Cain, but Stukov is still very high priority for a lot of the teams here. But they let him go this time. So they look at the map and they're saying, hey, there's multiple heroes on Infernal that we can really use well. We don't need to go for Stukov. So even if they ban it, we can then still take whatever later on. So Leo is okay, again, for Infernal Shrines, one of the best heroes they can pick here. Not only is he great for the rotation between mid and top lane to control the experience and also use his wave clear to push the lanes out, but on the objective itself, he's crazy good. That comboed with Mei for slows and even more CC, also fantastic. And here's the Stukov ban. Since he wasn't taken in the double rotation, Stukov gets banned. That leaves us with picks. Deckard Cain is kind of likely. They've shown different styles, so there's other heroes, as I mentioned, that they could swap into. But Deckard Cain is really good for Infernal Shrines to control the choke points a bit and do his thing there. Has been played a few times now also with the Lulnado against Leorix and Tomb, by the way. And I don't think we have seen a single Deckard Cain game in this tournament where he didn't go into Lornado. Whereas in the European meta, not a single player picks Lornado. I think we had one Lornado pick in Meta Madness, one. But Deckard Cain gets played a lot in Europe, and it's always around the sleeper setup. Diablo this time played by Gonda, and we get Bear Bear on Blaze. So I mean, that lineup is terrifying right now. This lineup on a Shrine fight, are you kidding me? Diablo for the wall stuns, Blaze for bunker, safety and everything else. I mean, this is pretty nuts. And here comes Anduin plus Hanzo and an insta pick on Tracer just after that, together with Malfurion. She's going to be the one to needle them down and threaten Hanzo and Junkrat. Guys, this is a terrifying lineup for the blue team. Team Pantheos is definitely coming out with a strong draft. There's a lot of synergy also in the red team's setup, but well, we have Infernal Shrines coming up, map number 3, so let's jump straight in the third map, Infernal Shrines in the grand final. Third game of the grand final, the series is tied. Who takes the lead? Is it going to be Team Pantheos or Team Tino? We're going to figure that out right now. On the left side, Wookie on Malfurion. We got Gonda on Diablo, Bear Bear on Blaze, Sekiro on Tychus, and Relic on Tracer. Towards the right side of the map, Capybara for Team Tino playing a Mei. We got Ilseong on Hanzo. As you can see, Junkrat has finally made it into the game too. He's getting played by Clutter over here. And, well, besides that, we see Wishing on Anduin. And Tech on Leoric. So, one of those... Basically what the two teams did is they reduced this to a best of 3. A maximum of 3 maps is left. And one of the teams after this match on Inferno Shrines will have taken the lead. And we're going to figure out now which one. So a bit of a brawl happening in the mid lane as both are going for that 5 versus 5. Diablo once again on the Soul Shield with level 1. Gonda playing the hero now. Wookie on the support with the Emerald Dreams once more. And the heat transfer for Mei. But yep, it's going to be a fun one. Interesting series in our hands here. I really like it. The semifinals were absolutely incredible. And with the grand final, honestly didn't really know what to expect here. But so far the games have delivered. And we've seen both of them really going ham on one map each so far. So it seems like a pretty even battle between the two of them as they are aiming for the title, crowning themselves the champion of this. But yeah, the Diablo and Blaze setup. Shrine fights are gonna be crazy, especially after level 10 when Tychus has also Odin, when we could, in addition to that, see the Entomb again, maybe even a light bomb for Anduin, depending on how they're gonna play it. Down here, Tracer's already starting to piss people off. I mean, she's already diving in deep. There's not a lot of stuns against her. There's some CC that they're rolling, but it's not like she has to engage into like this Uther plus Malfurion setup we've seen earlier. The first kill of the game is against Blaze though. Leo with the Drain is able to keep himself alive, and that is kill number 2 therefore, as Tychus could not escape out of this little battle. 2 kills to 0 now. Level 4 is ready, and that is another good start for Team Tino. Yeah, they're a bit of a surprise to me. I mean, Capybara is of course something someone that we've seen now play multiple tournaments here, and a few of the others too, but yeah, that was still pretty good. Now on level 1 we got the Parting Gift, we have the Pulse Generator, Master Assassin on level 4 is once again ready. And now with the objective getting announced in 1 more second, it's all about getting the camps, so they will crush through the top lane. The shrine itself is in the middle this time, so top lane pressure is going to be important. Leo and Blaze both have the chance to stay just a bit longer to see what they can do with this. But the big problem is this big gap in experience between the two teams. And that might lead to an absolute free first Punisher for Team Tino. Because an early level 7 is so important here. Tracer again, going deep, trying to get the kill. Couldn't quite make it happen. But they're catching up in experience for now. There's nobody in the side lane though. They're not really fighting for level 7. They're just both fighting for control over the shrine on level 6. Normally you will see a lot of delays here in an attempt to get the level 7 talent first. But this time they're both a bit behind in XP, so they're just going to brawl it out with the level 4 talents. Capybara sliding out. Tracer again all over the place. Using the Parting Gift here too to zone them out even further, but the lead on the stacks is in the hands of the red team. They're looking at 24 against 8, and Relic is a bit low here. So he needs a heal, but the problem for Malfurion is that he's starting to run out of mana, and that is a first objective for the red team. Yes, Frozen Punisher for them, and those Frozen Punishers, they of course hit like trucks. They are incredible at the beginning. They're absolutely fantastic because they just allow you to easily take down an opponent's wall, maybe even the fort. It's pretty much like a Punisher with an integrated Sylvanas ability right there. Much stronger than that even. I mean, if any kind of hero walks into that, he's also going to be in trouble. But they open the entire thing up to get some damage onto the fort. Not really pressuring it out too much, instead moving down to the bottom of the map to assist Capybara as he's attacking against Relic here. So yeah, that's the thought process. Of course, there's a few camps now up as well, and they're trying to play around them too. So yeah, all the way up at the top, our 1 versus 1 is still ongoing. Level 10 is going to change a lot here. I feel especially with Tychus played by the blue team, level 10 is going to be crucial. It's one of the main reasons why we for a long time picked Tychus on Inferno Shrines. Currently, he's of course a huge part of the meta in the first place and is played on a lot of other maps too. But even when he didn't see a whole lot of play, the one map where he would be occasionally picked was Inferno Shrines because of how important Odin can be when you're trying to battle it out for the shrine. So yeah, super important pick that will have a huge impact here. And once that he has Odin available, the question will be if Team Tino can play around that and still win objectives here. Or if the blue team is getting more and more control over these situations. Damage so far, I would say that Tracer should look at pretty decent numbers. Yeah, 12,000 for her, 15 for Tychus. The Renegade doing tons of work here once again. And a little battle down at the bottom of the map as they're again going for the aggressive plays. But it's all about the level 10 abilities. Level 10 and the next shrine. Those are the most important ones now. Who gets Punisher number 2? And level 10 is nearly ready. So let's have a little bit of a look here. Here comes the engage onto Mei. Nice root follow-up from Malfurion. Me likey. But it's Mei, so she's fine. She goes full Overwatch on them. Yeah, we have 3 Overwatch heroes against 1. If the golden rule of the more Overwatch, the better still applies, then we should have a tiny lead here for Team Tino as the game continues. With level 10s, we have no surprises for the blue team at all. And we get instead the word! Anduin! He has the word!
He has all the words. He has the best words. Everybody says so. Tremendous. Sad. It's amazing.
Yeah, He's gonna channel his inner orange man as he comes in with all the words now. No light bomb this time. No engage into the back line or anything. Nope. And can they deny some of those plays? I mean, if he plays his cards right, he could, for example, deny an entire ult from Diablo. Could easily pull it off. But yes, the objective will pop soon, and then we're gonna find out a bit more. Because at this point, we are at level 11 for both of them, which means that we don't see any level 13. So there's not going to be a talent advantage. Both going to play it out at level 10, and it should be fun. Should be a real fun fight, and also an important one. Since we haven't seen a fort drop yet, the one in the middle is the closest to what we're getting right now. But yeah, I'm hyped for that fight. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really hyped for the fight. Avalanche 2 could be kind of nice if they can isolate somebody or simply just move someone out of the battle. That would be amazing. So right now, we're getting the actual attack in, straight in the middle. It's a 5 versus 5. Nobody's sitting at the top lane, trying to take the Shaman camp down first. So they're all committing to the battle here. Tychus, he's gonna go for his very, very soon, turning full pirate on us. The engage against Leo helped Gonda to escape out of that situation at the bottom. 17 stacks to 10. Where's Tychus Odin? He needs to pop it soon. They're on 20 nearly. And here we go. Riptire and Tomb already out. May goes for the trade. Malfurion with the heals. Attempting to save Gonda. And the attack is in. Leo with drain after drain against the big boy, of course, as well. Has to ghost out again. 33 against 24 stacks. And the red team is doing much better than expected here. There's the bubble. There's the word, and they keep everyone alive. But Gonda, oh, the arrow completely missing, and it's Leo that dies. They try to go for the second kill, and they are able to take May down. The Punisher has been taken by Team Tino, but they lose 2 of their heroes in the process. Good kills from Team Pantheos. Those were important. If they can't drop those 2, then they would suffer the consequences during this push. The more important kill was honestly the one against May. Leo would have spawned on site in a very short amount of time. Would have very likely still ghosted up towards the top to control the side lane. So the kill against May was the more important one here. And a little bit of that was honestly because of the bunker. If the bunker doesn't get dropped there, then Diablo and the rest would have moved into the path of the arrow. And that would then be a potential kill against Team Pantheos. But now with the 13, we get the Unyielding Despair. So Leo's focusing way more heavily into a Drain build, which is of course going to threaten Gonda as the game continues. And Leo should already have a fair amount of damage. He's at 15,000. Hanzo with a kill on Tracer though. Tracer down, and that's an opening for the red team that they could take down here. 3 kills to 2, and maybe a chance to get some extra damage in on the fort. Leo even came in. If he would have been able to drop an Entomb there, whew, that would have been kind of neat. Avalanche is also still up, but yeah, they're getting pushed away here. So as Tracer is dead, they are trying to apply some pressure on the bot fort and hope, of course, for a kill, which so far they can't get, but Seong is getting his arrows out. 31,000 damage for him. Tychus is still a bit ahead. Brought 33, and all the way at the top, still Leo doing his thing. Riding in the player pause, the janitor taking out the trash on the lane. And in the middle, here comes the rest of the team. Controlling those little vents once again. Little smoke screens. But level 16, that's the next step for both teams. And if there is a window in which Pantheos gets the 16 talent first, that might help them on the next objective in the game. So, yeah, for them, that would be pretty nice to have. It's a small gap, but we've seen in previous games how even a 3-4 second gap can be huge. Oh my god, really? I mean, that arrow, wow. And if he didn't connect with anything yet, it's going to fly straight to NNA. Rumor has it this arrow is still flying. Happily ever after. Half a level, and then we got the 16 in for the blue team. But the objective hasn't been announced yet, so it stands to reason that both teams will have their talent for the objective. Okay. And, yeah, all the way up at the top. Tech is coming in. Bear is dodging out on the drain. Good for him. Level 16 is also going to be interesting to see if Leo is speccing full into Drain, but I would assume that at this point he does and is attempting to threaten Diablo whenever the Shrine fights are panning out. So we got the talents ready, and in this case we got again the Thermal Protection, our Piercing Rounds, Drain continues with the Crushing Hope, and we have the Glyph of Faith. So Crushing Hope against Diablo is going to be great, and then you have the Glyph of Faith to also save every target at the front. So these power spikes that we just saw for Team Tino on 16 are insane. They're really strong. And that will make things very difficult. Oh, nice attempt, but not quite working out. So yeah, May might need to be saved. The word! But Capybara is low as they use the train, and over here they go for Anduin, and he dies, and so does Hanzo. No, Diablo is dead, but he had the souls, and he'll be back, and now... Oh my god, Junkrat! Junkrat gets out. He was feeling the heat from those flame strikes, I can tell you. Yeah, that was clutch, but they still lost too many heroes. They're going to lose this objective. So now Team Pentheus is starting to gain control over the game. They have pulled ahead in experience a little bit. They're already threatening the top lane. They're threatening the middle of the map. And they're going to move down to the bottom as well. So they are looking fairly good at this point. These shrine fights are looking better and better and better. Yeah, they struggled on the first one. They still lost the second one, but they were able to get multiple kills, which helped them to easily defend. And now on the third one, they not only take the Punisher, but they also got several kills in. Here comes Anduin again. Oh my god, and Tracer nearly with the kill on Junkrat. There's the arrow, finally a hit. Yeah, that is a beautiful ult from Hanzo. That one was way better. He had a couple of Kappa ults in the last few, going full Monka S on them, but I gotta say that this one was absolutely on point. Very, very well done, and that also meant the end of Tracer. And Tracer, of course, with a lot of super aggressive plays, and in this case she nearly insta-killed Junkrat, which was awesome, but on the way back out, Hanzo paid attention and was able to take her down. Tracer at 42,000 damage, Hanzo at 43k. But yeah, it's such a great series. For Grand Final, this is honestly fantastic. Not only do we see very close games, but also we're going to get at least 4 maps out of this, which is brilliant. So now we have 5 kills to 5, tons of damage coming in, more pressure at the bottom of the map. Middle fort has been taken down, and here comes the Terror move from the Lightning Breath. He's going full barbecue on us with this one. But they are all still alive, and Capybara in particular, we're close to dying. But he's moving back out. Can be happy that Tracer wasn't here. She would have likely dove into the back line and tried to annihilate him for good. 0 deaths on Malfurion and Hanzo. Those are the only 2 that haven't died yet in the game. Yeah, Wiki also now moving towards the top. Bear's there. It's a half a level lead. Half a level lead. This could be another objective. Yeah, that's the big problem on Inferno Shrines. You're always looking at, hey, what happens around the next objective? Can we get a talent advantage? Can we somehow pull ahead a little bit and, yeah, just get ahead there? Especially with the next objective spawning at the bottom, it's important to note that there's still a fountain for them. So one fountain on the bot lane, whereas the blue team doesn't have a fountain in the middle nor at the bottom of the map, so they can't tap at the fountain at all. And if you can pre-tap before you head into the fight, or after taking some damage, quickly retreat, and then get your hit points back up again, that's very, very important. And we'll see if they can do that right now. But as it stands, we have the level 20 talents in play. That gives us the Fortified Bunker, Serenity, Hellgate. And I don't really think there's going to be any surprises here. It's going to be the big red button, of course. And Tracer is already going straight into the get stuffed here. Level 20 will be ready in time for the red team, though, one way or another. And I like that they are playing aggressive now. They are the team that doesn't have level 20, and they're still coming through. Burn the minion wave down, and then use Junkrat to get some extra grenades in against the fort, since they're trying to establish even more map control, so yeah, good for them. But of course their storm talents are so close that it's not going to take them a lot of time. Yeah. Yeah. Anduin, again, ruining other people's days by simply using his trade. And he has a double trade too. I mean, that was a storm talent before, and they put it on 16, which is incredible. Bullseye. We got the sensor in. Yeah, and Leo's honestly the only question mark. He goes for it. He goes into Burning Despair. He goes into Burning Despair. And guys, here comes the team fight. Leo is still up at the top. He lets this one slide. Down here, they're already getting in position. The blue team is a little bit ahead. And here comes the big red button as already expected. Mei hasn't made a move yet for her level 20 either. There we go. And she goes straight into the flash freeze. But it is time to party. Leo needs to get a good ult out as well. And of course, if Anduin can get a nice bubble, that would be worth a lot. Gets attacked right there. Leo with his ult. There's the Entomb. They try to go for Gonda. And Diablo is low, but in the back line. Yes, there's the play from Anduin, saving everybody, keeping his boys alive. They're making another play for Mei, but she gets pulled out by Anduin. The barbecue move, and he's dead. Capybara with a freeze, and Tracer is down as well. What a clutch play once again. They lose the objective, but they take 2 kills. That seems to be the theme of the game, honestly. You win the objective, you lose a couple of heroes. Leo might be able to move away from this, especially now that he connected the drain. I don't think that Malefiorian can moonfire him down. And no, so he survives. But yep, at the bottom they defend the Punisher. Holy hell. Yeah, that was already bonkers. I mean, that last fight, Mei was so close to dying. I mean, she was pretty much dead already. And then the cooldown came back in and she could save herself. Tychus was trying to kill her. Tracer was trying to kill her. And Tracer went deep for it and got punished immediately. So with that, topside gets now attacked down here. They're of course hoping for another... Oh my god, that Entomb! Nobody else is there though. Nobody else is there to help kill our boy Blaze. Yeah, now we have 5 kills to 7. Pressure at the top. We're already 18 minutes into the game, so catapults are starting to become stronger too. We even have still 3 forts on the map. And the next objective is at the top. Both teams still have a fountain at the top. Just saying. Both teams still have a fountain topside. So, yeah. We got 64,000 damage now for Hanzo. Top damage is still Tychus, on the other hand. And now that he has this big red button, this gap is going to increase every team fight. Unless Sekiro is getting killed super quickly in those fights. But yeah, this is a great game. I mean, only 12 kills. Not quite the kill per minute. But now the camps are taken again. And it's all about keeping your catapults alive and trying to play around that a little bit. So, yep. Down there. Another drain. There's the Entomb, but that's not going to do anything against Tracer. He was aiming for Diablo. And these Entombs are griefing a little bit. And without Silence, without the Buried Alive, that doesn't really help you against Tracer. If he had Buried Alive there, it would be a different story. Already, the ult's out. Serenity. Oh, that's a problem. That's a big problem for Blaze. Oh, get wrecked. Get wrecked. Blaze gets absolutely crushed. Absolutely crushed in that encounter. Wow. And that's the end of Gonda too. Now, he's down for the full duration this time. But guys, the monster kill was this one. Check that one out. Look at Blaze. Look at Blaze. Oh my god, that arrow. Get wrecked, buddy. Bam! Oh boy. He had a couple of weird arrows earlier, but the last 2 or 3 that Hanzo YOLO'd out were just insane. Poke arrow and a massive kill against Blaze and Diablo. The entire front line gone. And that means they can aim for a top fort even before they head into the shrine itself. Both are still down for several seconds. Diablo for 25. That was absolutely crucial. That could be... I mean, honestly, this could nearly be game. And it could be. There's a chance that if they push in with the Punisher, they get a few kills and can snowball this. But one way or another, a big lead now for Team Tino because they took the fort topside down. All the forts on the blue side are now eliminated. They have a free shot at the Punisher, pretty much. And in addition to that, they can also now... They should be able to get at least a keep. But they could also be able to get more than that if they get kills. So those 2 kills against the front line of Team Pantheos were incredibly important. And the next minute will tell if there's a chance for the blue team to fight back on this map, or if Team Tino takes the 1-0 lead. Because this is a big one right now. We got the Punisher moving in, and it's a frozen Punisher too. So the keep is pretty much gone. They're likely going to try and open the wall already up before the Punisher is even there. And thanks to them stacking the camp on top of the Punisher, they have even more power in this push. So there's the bait. There's the big red button. They got to pop all of this early. It's the only chance that they have. And this is trouble. Trouble for Team Pantheus. The keep is doing nothing here. Leo needs a good entomb. He drops the entomb. They're trying to go for a kill. He missed the entomb completely. I mean, the last two entombs are just griefing. So Leo needs to step up his game on those. He had some nice damage during the game and a couple of really cool moments, but the entombs are not good. I know why I didn't take Buried Alive. Buried Alive only works if you hit the entomb, and he doesn't. But right now, Blaze is dead again, died before he got the bunker back, and this is a disaster. Look at Malfurion. He's dead. So is Tracer, and so are the hopes and dreams of Team Pantheus in Game 3 of this best of 5. Gonda dies, and Team Tino takes the lead in the grand final. They take a 2-1 lead in the best of 5 over their opponent with a victory on Inferno Shrines. GG. Game number 4. The entire adventure could end here, depending on the red team's performance. A 2-1 lead in the best of 5 grand final for Team Tino. Cursed Hollow, everybody! Our next map, and I'm happy that we get Cursed. The only thing that would have been more awesome is Game 5 Cursed, but maybe we're getting the final map. There's a quick ban again on Vala, since first pick goes to Capybara and his team. We have Vala banned out. By the way, that also means that Team Pantheus decided that they want to go for the map choice instead of going for first pick, first ban. Which is interesting and could potentially hint at them having a pocket strategy lined up for Cursed Hollow. I would love to see something like Abathur or the Vikings here, but as already alluded to in some of the earlier games, Koreans don't really play those heroes all that much. Even in Europe it's a niche pick, but it's a niche pick that you always have to keep in mind, because they are being played a lot. But yeah, by the way, for everybody that is currently watching this on YouTube and has made it this far into the series, guys, again, keep in mind that if you want to support the channel a little bit, want to keep the Heroes of the Storm coverage alive, hit that like button. And of course, if you really want to support the channel, you can also use that membership feature that YouTube has unlocked. There should be a button underneath the video player where you can join if you want. So yeah, appreciate all the support, so thanks a lot. And I'm going to try and make sure to bring you guys more Heroes of the Storm coverage with all the tournaments that are coming up here. Now, Wookiee is on Malfurion this time. Stukov is still available as a pick. Junkrat is also taken out here on Cursed. And Stukov, honestly, is incredibly attractive as a pick on this map. So we'll see if they go for him in this rotation, or if he's going to be banned out again. With Malfurion claimed, there's of course, again, theoretically at least, the option of going into a Tracer. There's Muradin, and they go Lucio. Okay, Lucio over Stukov, trying for the quick rotation and the wall slides here. Also, if they decide to go into the sound barrier again, they could move into boss fights with a big-ass shield that can theoretically win you the entire battle over a boss, and depending on how it pans out, maybe even the game. Especially if you're locking in something like a Sylvanas for your added damage. Always attractive on Cursed Hollow. Yeah, and yeah, talking about Sylvanas, right? So much for that. She gets quickly banned as Team Pantheus says, like, you know what, this Khaldor guy, he's onto something, let's ban her. By the way, for the people that don't know that, that's definitely not what happened here, because we always have on live streams a delay by 20 to 30 seconds to make sure that nobody can abuse the stream, sometimes even more than that. So yeah, it's not like they're listening to draft analysis and any kind of calls that are being made in the game and then react to them. With Malfurion, as I said, Tracer becomes attractive and therefore she gets banned too. So both of the teams are playing it very, very safe here and are careful about what's going on. And I'm pretty intrigued to what we're seeing from the blue team in particular. As I said, it's their map choice. So maybe they have something that they want to throw out there. Lulinara and Leoric, so that leaves them only with the main tank. Doesn't really seem that we're going to get anything crazy from them, but the Lunara pick is of course already interesting. And yeah, looked pretty great. And what do we get on the right side now? The red team with the last 2 picks. There's Chen, full on Panda. A lot of tank potential now at the front. Fat Illidan is in the game. They didn't go for real Illidan, but they got his thick-boned brother with Greymane trying to go for the deer. Yeah, Lunara has to be careful. When the wolf is on a prowl, the deer tremble. Gonda is the last pick. Game number 4 could be the last map of the series if Team Tino wins and they are the champions of the FiSH Cup. And what do we get? There's a lot of time that they are using for this one. ETC! Okay! More prey for Greymane, I guess. Cursed Hollow, 4th map, everybody. Let's go, let's make it happen. Let's see if Team Pentheus can force map number 5 or if Team Tino wins the tournament right here, right now. Game number 4, Pentheus against Tino. Here we go with Gonda on ETC for the blue team, Sekiro on Junkrat, Wookie, whoop whoop. On Malfurion, we got Bear on Leoric, and Relic on Lunara. On the right side of the map, Team Tino with Capybara on Muradin, Wishing on Lucio, Clutter on Tychus, we got Seong on Greymane, and Tech on Chen. And honestly, I don't really remember if I talked about it before, but obviously most of you guys have watched at least some of the games of the tournaments before. If you haven't, and you're a bit surprised by the teams and you don't recognize the names, these are captain's draft teams. So this is not the established teams that we have in Korea, but these are teams where the top players in Korea were thrown into a pool of players, and then some team captains were drafting from that pool to create some mixed teams, to shake things up a little bit. So therefore they went for some generic names and a little bit of a meme style there. That's one of the reasons why I don't recognize any of the names that we currently have on the board here, at least not the team names, but at least some of the player names should ring a bell, though some of them are using Smurfs here too. Now either way, ETC on level 1 straight up with the block party. When you go up against Greymane, that's definitely a good idea. Cursed Hollow, always an awesome map too, by the way. Yeah, got down with a quick slide, but Capybara was dodging out on it, so good for him. Yeah, nicely done. And all the way up towards the top. That's where we got Bear on his Leo going up against the Panda. Pandemonium! Missed opportunity. I mean, okay, that skin isn't too bad, but the white-black War Master Chen setup is still by far the best. Sexy as hell. I know there is a couple of confused souls that think if you go for the War Master Chen, you have to take the red tint on it, but that's obviously a big mistake. And it's an easy mistake to make. You think it looks cool, but obviously the real connoisseurs, they go for the white and the black tint variation because it's clearly the superior one. And I'm happy that there's no real discussion about it. And those confused souls that don't understand that will soon also get the memo. So it's all totally fine. But either way, level 4 talents are popping up soonish. We have for Lulinara on level 1, the Sentinel Wisp. We're going to definitely keep an eye out on her. I mean, they are going to hunt her hard. Tychus is, of course, heading into the Master Assassin again. We have also the Thunderburn. A little bit of action happening in the mid lane. With Thunderburn on level 4, you can expect the healing static on level 13. There's obviously 2 different builds for Muradin. Well, 2 different variations in terms of the sustain that Muradin has as a hero. One through the Bronze Bear Rage, the other through healing static. If you go healing static, you normally want to go for the level 4 so that you can still come in with this, and yeah. But I'm actually quite interested to especially see how Lunara and ETC are going to fare in the big team fights, considering that the interrupt potential against the Mosh Pit and also the single target damage potential are really huge from Team Tino. If you have Chen jumping in, even just going for some barrel plays and attempting to isolate someone, and then Greymane and Tychus following up on that, yeah, that is kind of crazy. Lunara already down, and yep, that highlights my point a little bit. So this is an early game kill, so she obviously got ganked, but I think the same problem might be there in big team fights too. So there it is. Also with level 7, we got, by the way, Ghastly Reach now, after the Consume Vitality. And as you can see, here comes the play for the first tribute of the game. But with an early kill and a looming level 7 talent, there's an advantage for Team Tino. That's going to be very difficult to play around. Yep, the interrupt still happens though. Nicely done. So good for Gonda. Was close. He nearly got channeled. But he can delay this a little bit more and give Leoric some time at the bottom of the map to push the lane out and get extra XP. But Gonda himself now has to slide out, gets the stun connected. Nice follow-up attempt by Junkrat. I really like it. The only thing that was better than Junkrat's follow-up was the reaction of the players affected. They did not fall into that trap. And now the channel happens and the first tribute ends up in the hands of Team Tino. So they get an early game lead, but they also are now on even experience again with Team Pantheos because they missed out on a bit of XP at the bot lane. Leo was not really joining the fight for long, so he rotated between the lanes and that gave them, I think, one additional wave. But thanks to Blizzard making this game more casual friendly with every single patch, and lowering the skill ceiling, we now have Capybara moving in and at least getting some of that XP. That's actually something that I'm still salty about, because they removed so much from the game where good teams and players could really shine with proper coordination, and it's a little bit sad. It's honestly one of the things that I have trouble understanding why that is, since a high skill ceiling is always enjoyable whenever you're looking at especially the top level of play. And one of the most impressive things in the days of old were just the crisp rotations of teams like Dignitas, MVP Black and Fnatic that always allowed them to get experience, slowly pull ahead, and a lot of that is gone now. Not completely eliminated, but definitely reduced heavily. Yeah, they're reducing the hit point pool of ETC also heavily up to 0, and that is the end of the main tank. That's 2 kills to 0 now, and they take the lead in XP, and they're going to take 2 tributes to 0. This is dangerous. This is really dangerous for Team Pantheos now. This early game at least is not working out as they expected. They have Leo on the side lane time and time again, which helps them to put pressure on those walls. So that's one thing that is working in their favor. But I am a little bit afraid of what could happen if that curse gets taken, especially now that the boss is getting attacked. Now Leo sniffs that out, that's good for them, and the reaction is happening immediately at the bottom of the map. So once they see that the boss is claimed topside, they instantly go for their own boss, and that's the only play that they have there. So I like that they're going for it right away. Greymane is of course helping out with the boss all the way up at the top. Rest of the game pretty much as you would expect. It's a commitment of 3 players against 4 players. We have Chen at the top. High 5, by the way. Barrel and go for the throw, taken as level 10 abilities. Okay, so at least in this case, we don't have the sound barrier, but we get the high 5 against it. And Leo with the Entomb, Leaping Strike, and now bosses are barreling through both of the lanes. This should be an easy grab for Greymane. On the other hand, the camp also in the mid lane now moving through for Team Pantheos. But there's the tribute spawning. And this is the important part now, because with the tribute coming in play, this is a potential curse. We got 2 kills to 0, both teams are on level 11. And Tychus is doing a decent job defending against the boss down at the bottom of the map, all the way up at the top. It's also being slowly taken apart by Leoric, but at least the wall has already completely fallen. And down here, as you can see, not much is going to get destroyed anymore. Lucio is dead in the middle, on the other hand. Their only job was to stay alive until the fight for the tribute started, but they don't get that. Bear misses the Entomb, but that's of course a freebie now on the objective. Maybe not? Okay. They gotta be careful that they don't lose another hero or two now. They're apparently trying to buy time for Lucio. The position is, of course, a pretty good one for the red team on the objective, so there's that. But they even have to pop Odin in order to play this one out. They're trying to bait this a little bit, and Junkrat is happy to oblige. But now Khaldor gets attacked, Lucio's back to business, and guys, there's the channel. Oh my god. Leo interrupting it. Riptire in the back, but that is not enough damage against Tychus just yet. It's a 5 versus 5 again. Interrupt on the mosh pit from ETC. But yeah, it's readily available now still, of course. Chen has his barrel back in another 11 seconds as well. So, yep, they're going for the curse. They're trying to grab it here. but they're also looking for kill opportunities, and especially Lunara gets focused by Chen. Fat Illidan jumping into the back line and pushing this back, but now they're creating tons of space for that channel. If they can keep EDC, this is it. This is a curse. They get the curse. The curse is there. The curse is ready, and now they can try and take some of these forts down. They should try and split out on 2-3 lanes. Chen is at the top. Take those minion waves apart, and there's Murden in that back already, going straight up for Lunara once again. Junkrat is at the bottom of the map trying to keep that fort alive. Chen is just absolutely crushing these waves, proxying them hard so that he can join up with the rest of the team in the middle if he wanted to. Fort at the top is going to fall. The fort in the middle is also going to get destroyed. 2 of the structures therefore already eliminated. And this is looking really good now for Team Tino. They get the initial lead here before the curse is going to be reset. And thanks to the rotation towards the bottom of the map, every single fort will be taken down. So the first curse eliminates the outer ring of defense of Team Pantheos and leads to a significant lead. Junkrat gets attacked. Stormbolt and the kill. Junkrat down, wishing, eating a lot of those grenades in the trade, but he's still alive. Comes in with a high 5, and they can retreat to fight another day. The lead is there in experience, 3 kills to 1, but the structural advantage, that is the real story here. Being this far ahead in structures is pretty impactful this early in the game. Oh yes, definitely. 10 minutes in, and only the keeps remain. Only the keeps remain. And we have 0 tributes to 0. So, yeah, that is a great start into game number 4 for Team Tino. Mid game is looking fantastic, and the blue team needs teamfight victories. They need a win. They need a good mosh pit of ETC, maybe an Entomb engage by Leo, and Lunara to pop off a bit. She has 23,000 damage. She's doubling the damage of Chen, who is top damage right now on the red team side. Greymane has only 11,000. So she's easily doubling this. But again, they need actual kills. And they got 1, but that is not enough. So we have our 1 versus 1 up at the top. Down here to the bottom left, as you can see, the blue team is currently aiming for another camp. Mercenary camp is the only thing that is in play now. Now, the good news is that there's nobody that is threatening a lead in talents. That's the good thing here for them. So, Clutter is obviously now also on his way. He can't be really doing anything at the bottom. They have the Siege Giants already traveling through, and that is going to force a reaction out of the blue team. So very likely what we're going to see them do is simply move in here, take the camp down, and then move down to the bottom to defend against this. The next tribute spawning is also... I mean, it's spawning in a bit of an advantageous position for Team Tino, so maybe Team Pantheos even lets this one go. I think they're going to poke around it and see what they can do. Maybe lock that kill in. But since both of the teams are currently at 0 tributes, you can theoretically at least let that slide for now, if there's a reason for it. But heroic abilities are already, the only exception is Malfurion, and even Malfurion here is going to have it back in 12 seconds. So yeah, it's really the structures that are making the big difference here. But another thing that we should probably point out is that the bosses are up in another 48 seconds over here, and roughly the same is true at the top. So there's 42. And these 2 bosses, they are going to matter a lot. Because at the bottom of the map, we still have a fort and then the keep. Whereas up at the top, it's only the keep that is still there. So the top boss, or the bottom boss, whichever one you're looking at, is now more important than ever for the blue team to take control of, if they can. Those bosses could threaten keeps very early, and Team Pantheos is like really far behind on that lane control. But again, we're looking at 16 as the next talent. So now they took the camp, and they're going as expected for the defense at the bottom. Yeah, and with only 16 seconds left, we could see Greymane make a move for this. They have, of course, vision at the bottom of the map on Junkrat at least. But yeah, rotation is happening. Trying to move towards the top. Get caught in the middle with Lucio having the mobility, with Capybara being able to jump out. They're going to be totally fine here. Leo and ETC are looking for engages, but they don't find them yet. And the Siege Giants at the bottom of the map have now been defeated by the minion wave, but here's level 16 coming up next. Level 16 about to hit. And that's what we're gonna see, of course, in even bigger power spike. Bosses are both up. Tribute hasn't been announced. It's gonna be here very, very soon. We get the dwarf launch. Here comes the attack. Barrel play as they're going for the top kick against Junkrat, and he's low and he's dead. Junkrat dead again. I said it before and I say it again. If you jump in with Chen, with Greyman, and you have the range support from Tychus, that's enormous damage against single targets, and Junkrat doesn't have the hit points to withstand that aggression. Leo is down 2. There's 2 heroes killed, and they can easily move back now. Bosses are up on the map and up for grabs. It's a 5 versus 3. ETC is still chasing a little bit. Leo is here too, and of course Leo will be back soon. They're trying to threaten this, and the red team is willing to take a fight here. There's the jump into the back line. Stormbolt misses. They need to be careful. ETC still has a mosh pit, but they're trying to make the play as we have Tychus, and he moves out of the boss stun, but the boss is still attacking. There's the interrupt on the mosh pit, and ETC is down. ETC is dead, and Leo is likely gonna fall too. But Chen, he gets crushed as well. And Capybara is trapped and also dies. What? Chen down and Muradin down. Team? I mean, they killed ETC, but that is still a bit of a nightmare. Now, the goal has to be get at least the tribute. Slow them down a bit, get the tribute, and the blue team might make a play for boss instead. But the tribute gets taken, and that was an important step. That at least salvages the situation a little bit. Kind of stops the bleeding here, but that was an enormous entomb of Leo. That entomb was fantastic. That was really, really important. And while the boss is taken down here, they make a play for the boss at the top. But this could backfire. They're gonna have 5. I guess with Greyman they can rip it apart quickly enough. Because down at the bottom of the map they're still needing a little bit more time for it. It doesn't change what I said earlier though. This boss still has to go through a fort at the top lane. Whereas this one is going straight for the keep. So this should have more of an impact. Especially with the tribute spawning in 10. That might be a free one for Team Tino, because the blue team has a much bigger incentive to defend at their keep. And they can't fight for both. They can't defend against the boss and at the same time fight for the tribute. So this is a bit dicey. They try to get the Siege Giants at least, so that the Siege Giants are helping with this particular defense. But yeah, the tribute has been taken and the push is still ongoing. So 2 tributes to 0. Boss at the bottom of the map, again, already a little bit low. Real fight is panning out top side, though. And they have Odin. They have Odin and they're sieging up with the boss. Siege Giants down here, they get taken apart by Lucio. He's making sure that there's nothing happening from the back. Boss at the bottom is still moving in, but that top keep is in real trouble. In real trouble, because this boss is hitting hard. And Odin is also firing from the back. The barrage continues, and their keep falls. The keep is down. The red team moves back. Team Tino, they try to get the victory. They want the grand final win. They want to crown themselves the champion. And now we have another tribute popping up, and it could be another curse. Down here, yes, the wall has fallen, but the keep is still totally fine. And now everybody is going to get into position for the next tribute. Now, there is a chance that Team Tino just says, you know what, we're going to let this one slide and we're going to wait for level 20. But time will tell. They can afford it. They can easily afford it. They're going for the camps. They're taking both Siege Giants and the Bruiser camp. And they let the tribute slide. They just give it up. They're just saying like, yeah, whatever. We're going to have level 20 in just another moment. Or if they can interrupt. Oh, can you imagine? If Muradin is able to interrupt and they hit 20, oh my god. That would have been likely the end of the game. But the situation is bad enough as is for Team Pensiers. Yeah, it is tricky to say the least. With level 20 now kicking in, they're going to siege up in the middle. Tychus is going to have Odin back. He's going to pop the big red button here. At least he should. Yeah, there it is. Big red button gets popped. Unleashed is in. Rewind the mix and fire. They want keep 2. They want keep number 2. They don't have a big window though. It's a small window. It's a small window to siege up here. They can do some damage. I don't think they can take the entire thing down. I mean, well, they can. It depends on the commitment. But they're, of course, taking a bit of a risk if they do. The keep is very, very low, and as long as Tychus is still in Odin, they can fire away here. And that's exactly what they're doing. And 20 is still not there for the blue team. It's so close, but they take it. They take the keep. Now they move back. 6 kills to 3. Tribute is spawning. They can let it slide again if they want. It's a minute until Tychus has his ult back. But the same is also true for Junkrat. 2 keeps are down, and they're at least posturing to see what they can pull off here, but they always have to be careful because now Bear on his Leoric has Buried Alive, and that is a game changer when it comes to engages. The level 20 also give us the intensifying toxic for Bambi. Lunara, what's her damage at this point even? Lunara is currently looking at 63,000 damage, and they gotta go down to the bottom of the map. Catapult is griefing, of course. Stuck behind the Siege Giants. And yeah, still some damage against all of this. So Sekiro comes down with this Junkrat. He's trying to push this back, but has to retreat a little bit. Is careful. They have no vision, so he doesn't want to get ganked here. They're sacrificing there for one more tower. Yep, and there's the entire team. Just sitting on the side. God, what a game! What a series! Comeback after comeback here today. Semifinals. I think the semifinals were even crazier than this one. But this is a great grand final that we're seeing. It's kind of fun to watch the Koreans just. It's kind of nice. Now, of course, having a captain's draft this time instead of established teams adds a certain level of spiciness to all of this too. Yeah. And here comes the tribute. And this time they have, of course, their Odin. Now, this is going to be a curse one way or another. Because by now, the blue team also has 2 tributes. So if they win the fight and take the tribute, there's a chance that they are going to start a comeback here. But they have to win this one. This is their chance. This is honestly their best chance. Mid lane is heavily pushed out. Top lane, they got Siege Giants. So for now, the lanes are not in danger. This is the best opportunity that they have to start a comeback. And it's definitely possible. If you get the curse here and you do serious damage, you can at least take the keep at the bottom. Maybe even go for the core. It all depends on how many heroes you kill. So they need to make a bit of play here. But they have a huge opportunity to turn the game around in this one. This is the best opportunity that they're ever going to have. Whichever team wins this fight is likely gonna win the game. Unless it gets incredibly delayed or we only have a kill or 2. But they're... Oh no! The 2 misses completely! No, not like this. And they engage into the back right away. Murden though, super low. He gets saved and moves out. There's the party time. No interrupt. Finally it's in. But Tychus is already dead. Tychus is dead. Lunara still looking for damage. She's low though. Gets healed. And there's the kill against Greymane. They lose 2 heroes. And I think they're gonna lose 3. Chen is trying to get away, but that's 3 kills, and that's the curse, and that's the comeback right here. They go for boss, the curse will drop the top fort for sure, and now they're going to attempt to go take the game back. Oh my god. ETC, that mosh pit for the longest time wasn't interrupted. He hit 3 with it, and Pentheus has a chance to win the game now. 6 kills to 6. The bottom boss is taken. Now they're going to go for the core right now. Top side also 1 Siege Giants and the minions. So they're going to try and take the keep at the top through minions alone. But at the bottom of the map, what they're obviously aiming to go for is the core. They know that they only have a small window and they're going to try and use it. They all... Again he misses. Again he misses the Buried Alive. But they take the keep and I'm not sure if it even matters. Greymane will be back. What about Chen? 10 seconds. Capybara isolated again. 4 seconds until he has Avatar. He doesn't have it yet, but Lucio is dead already. The key is gone. We are going the full distance. The boss hasn't even been scratched yet. The Greymane is dead, and this is game number 5. The big comeback. It's happening. The 6.5 out of 10 moment. They take the comeback. Here's the jump. Chen is moving in. And Muradin is low. The core is falling. And that is game, ladies and gentlemen. We're going the full distance on the grand final. We're going to map number 5 as Team Pentheus wins on Cursed Hollow against Team Tino. Nicely done. Great comeback. Really, really well played. Well, there it is. Game number 5. They made it happen. Pentheus with the victory. And now we're heading into Tomb of the Garden Curse. Yeah, Blizzard coming up with always new concepts out of what we could do with objectives. And with, Garden of Terror, they just created something completely different where you have to collect 3 tributes, seeds, in order to summon the Webweaver, Garden Terrors. Something completely different that we have never seen before on any map. So, yep, Tomb of the Garden Curse, everybody, is the final map in this best of 5. The grand final. We got Vala banned, Dehaka banned, Falstad banned, so both of the globals are right away eliminated. Big map, obviously. But what we're still going to see are heroes that are good against camps, because this is the camp where we have the most mercenaries out of the entire map pool. So, yep, this is going to be, well, Lunara as a first pick. No Malfurion, Stukov, first and second. We get Lunara immediately locked in. And here comes Malfurion. Alright. So, Malfurion is ready. And now the big question, of course, is who's going to go for the cams? Who's going to pick Greymane here? What's the front line going to be like? Leo is already taken. Are we maybe even getting some? No, we're not getting a Brightwing. I mean, I like Korea, honestly. They look at Brightwing and they're like, this Khaldor guy has a point. That hero is trash. And they just don't pick her. No bans on Brightwing. No picks on Brightwing. Europe and NA currently like her a lot. And to be fair, I really think that Brightwing is actually pretty good right now. Maybe not the best hero, but she's definitely usable. And not as garbage anymore as she was in the past. With the changes in the meta, came also a place for the Fruit Fly. But I still don't like her. But yeah, Lucio is now taken, so that speeds you up a bit on the map, and this is a huge one. You can do that. You can still set those ganks up and a little bit quicker when it comes to ganking. Leo and Junkrat. Yeah, Leo, of course, he has the wave clear. I mean, he is the wave clear machine. But what do we get for the blue team now? I mean, this is a final map. This is it. This is do or die. The team who wins on Garden of Terror takes the championship, takes the victory, claims the title. Blaze and Diablo, super beefy frontline. And the final 2 picks for Team Tino. What a back and forth series. The entire tournament, and this series in particular, just blow for blow, time and time again. Teams coming in and, yeah, just delivering. Getting those hits in. Tychus and Mei. Tychus and Mei now, the final 2 picks. It's a lot of slows. Mei, Leo, Lucio behind that. Tychus is now in. But we need more damage for the blue team. They need a little bit more damage here. And no Greymane so far. I haven't gotten a Greymane yet. I expected more heroes that do well on camps. Yeah, and no doggy. Final pick. Bear. And it is Hanzo. More arrows, everybody. More arrows from Hanzo. Honor. Garden of Terror. The final map. We're going to crown a champion right now here at the FiSH Cup, the Korean tournament. Team Pentheus going up against Team Tino. Game on! The grand final is starting on the left side. Team Pentheus with Gonda on Diablo. When I say the grand final is starting, we're talking about the final map here. So it is going to be ending here. But yeah, the final map is starting. Bear on Blaze, Sekiro on Hanzo, Relic on Lunara. And we got Wookie on Malfurion. Capybara for the red team playing Mei. We got Clutter on Tychus. Tech is playing Leoric. Ilseong on Junkrat. And as you can see, wishing with Lucio this time as both teams go through those gates for the final time, the final battle. Can't believe that we made it into the 5th map, honestly. So, yeah, pretty amazing, because I really thought, especially after we had that lead for Team Tino, that they would be able to win the series. I mean, they pulled ahead on Curse Horror so far that it really seemed impossible for them to lose it. And then it came down to that last fight. And even before the fight started, I've been talking about how there is a chance that the blue team starts a comeback because of how well they did by controlling the 2 lanes where they lost their keeps. Both lanes were pushed out No catapults were pressuring. No catapults had a chance to make it to the core, turn into minions, and take the shields down and the core hit points. So it was the one fight where the blue team really had an opportunity to take it all, bring it back, and they used it. Especially, of course, ETC. ETC with that mosh pit was crucial. He had 3 heroes that he locked in for quite a long time before he got interrupted, and that helped them to get kills, to get the boss, to get the curse, and it just all aligned for them. So Team Tino must be pretty disappointed that they weren't able to lock in a 3-1 victory in this grand final, but of course now it's a question of whether or not they can just like mentally reset and say, guys, let's go, we can do this, let's go map number 5 and just clean slate, don't think about the last map, just focus and do your best, and we're going to bring this home. Which team wins? I honestly don't have any idea who's going to take it here. Both teams have shown amazing games, but it is going to be a bit of a highlight. Also, can be very interesting on the map here. We're going to keep our eye on Lunara in particular for a lot of the damage that we of course have. And after level 10 with the Leaping Strike, she can make some really aggressive plays that could be super, super interesting here as well, with all the damage and the reposition that she of course has. So for now, we have at the top still Leo playing this one out. We got in the middle Capybara. There's a rotation just for experience, and Leoric is making a move down to the bottom of the map now. But of course, now that the 1 minute mark has passed and all of the camps are spawning on the map, you're trying to take those as quickly as you can. And we'll see if they can capitalize on that. Maybe take some of those structures down, drop a tower or 2. The reaction is coming in as the rotation towards the top from the blue team is already en route, so Hanzo is just jumping over and is helping out. But you can tell that they're still able to do some damage at least, so 1 tower will fall for sure. They might be able to get even more out of this one. For now, we got the Master Assassin on level 4 in again. This time, by the way, Neil Peasants after the initial Austin's renewal for them. Down to the bottom of the map, yeah, some of the towers are also starting to take damage, but not quite as much work done here as up at the top where the entire thing is pretty much gone. Now, no kills up to now, and well, level 7 talents are likely going to bring us the Choke and Pollen again, but we got the first seed spawning in a couple of seconds, so one of the teams can try and pull ahead here. Tyke is also deciding to not go into any adjustments regarding his level 4 talent, still opting for the attack speed, especially with Odin. Against Diablo, you sometimes see other choices made, especially on the European side. But the only time we had an adjustment with the level 4 talent for Tychus was when he went for a full-on auto attack build and started to stack within the rhythm. So there was that. On top of that though, the full commitment at the top with the Siege Giants by the blue team is starting to put pressure on Capybara, who's the only defender here, doing what he can. But I'm not sure how long he's going to be able to hold out without any support. And that's why Tychus has to move in and give Mei a hand. But yeah, a big map, obviously. A lot of gank potential. Rotations will be important here. No Sylvanas that he can take advantage of. Globals have all been banned out. With one exception, and that's Brightwing. But Koreans don't like the Fruit Fly. Yeah, and they also don't like Junkrat, at least when he's playing on the other team. So Junkrat is able to get out. But that was close, because Lunara was starting to stack a lot of damage over time on him. And might have been able to extend this even. Splintered Spear. Splintered Spear on level 7 now for her. And still our 1 versus 1 at the bottom of the map. So yeah, Gonda and Bear, they go up against Tech. And top side, Lunara, with the Splintered Spear, she can of course do a lot of damage there too. Yeah, and talking about damage, they focus into the mid lane a little bit more. And they might get the kill on Hanzo. Nope. There's, in this case, at least no grenade that Tychus can throw out. So Hanzo survives and he gets the quick heal from Woogie and Malfurion. But the first seed has been claimed earlier without really being contested by Team Tino. And now that the second one spawns, they have a chance to really pull ahead on the objective. So a second one for them would go a long way there. Okay, Diablo is in, but they still try to go for the Siege Giants. But the blue team is fully willing to commit to this attack, it seems. No, they're not. Alright, they're moving back against Junkrat. They don't want to risk anything here. And everybody is still gathering around objective number 2, with the exception of the 2 side laners that are battling it out in the middle for added experience. With the level 7 talent, we now also get the Drain Momentum. Grenade set up for Tychus, of course. But yes, here come the pokes. Lucius jumping in, and Hanzo disappears. First kill in the game. Hanzo, the hipster beard, he can shove that bow where the sun doesn't shine. goes down, stands no chance, was hoping to escape and get maybe even a sneaky kill in initially, but yep, he quickly became the victim. And that's him destroyed. I mean, you know that Hanzo is that guy who goes into a Starbucks and orders like that soy latte with the extra cream and, I don't know, at a certain temperature with nuts sprinkled on top of it or whatever. You know that he's that guy. Can I have a soy cappuccino with almond milk and this mixed in a 2-3 ratio, please? And a little bit of extra whipped cream. And could you increase the sugar content too? And while we're at it, a little bit of chocolate just sprinkled on top in the perfect pattern. And if it doesn't have the right temperature by the time you deliver it, then I want a refund. So yeah, that's Hanzo. That's Hanzo right there. You know, you can... Everyone that listens to it can perfectly picture it right now. He's that guy. And we all hate that guy. Alright, level 10 versus level 10. So for now, we got the Entombment, we got again the High Five, also Avalanche. We have 2 of the seeds against 0. And can they play for the third one? Arrow, Leaping Strike, seems like they're just gonna let this one go. Yeah, nobody's making a play for it yet. So up at the top. Yeah, Lunara is defending pretty easily on this one. Repositions herself before Leori comes in, but again, he can't really get a lot out of entombing her unless he has his level 20, because as long as she still has her level 10, she can easily jump out of that fight. So yeah, that's not going to be a big risk for her. Yeah, Leo is not going to drop that entomb on her. But yeah, the game is slowly starting to shape up a bit. It's all about the seeds for now. As you can see, we have the single kill, but experience is fairly even. Lucio empowering these rotations is giving his team a slight advantage in experience, since they can get more of that minion XP. But yeah, that's pretty much that. Not a single fort has been destroyed yet, but this is now a moment where we could technically get objective number 1 again. Team Tino has another chance of claiming that. And they have already destroyed the fountain at the top, so that's actually a big step into the right direction from their perspective. Trying to put extra damage onto the fort now too. And they are all in position for this one. So we already get the mine out, we get the trap, everything is just laying out. And that might just be... Yeah, that's not even in. Wow, okay, Diablo's coming in. But there it is. No! They didn't get it! God, that was clutch. But yeah, Hanzo interrupts again. There's another channel. This time it might be Lunara that moves in. The arrow gets hit. Oh my god, committing to the ult even for the interrupt. And that did some serious damage too. The blue team. Damn, they are using all their resources at this point. And Tomb came out again. The bunker to safeguard against it. And Odin also for the damage output on Diablo, who's trying to get away from Leo's drain. Another move topside by Lucio as he channels it once more. And this time it should work out, with the exception that it didn't see Blaze coming in. Couldn't body block him. Another interrupted attempt by Hanzo. That one backfired and Leo gets it. Can they keep everybody alive? They might be able to do even more, but no, there's the barbecue. Perfectly lined up for him to take advantage of it. The kill against Tychus. Yes, they got the Garden Terrors, but they lose 2 heroes, and that is bad news indeed. The Garden Terrors, they will do some damage, but they're definitely not going to do as much as they were hoping for. With not only Mei, but also Tychus eliminated. This is an easy defense. At the bot lane, there's a bit more damage done, and they break through the wall, but of course you cannot fully commit with the rest of your team now. So yeah, this was a pretty fair trade. The thing is, keep in mind that the seeds are gone now. So once that the next seed spawns, the blue team still has a chance to get Garden Terrors and push with them. But the red team has now lost it, and they didn't get a lot out of it. They dropped 50% of the HP on the fort at the top. They dropped maybe the wall in the middle. They dropped a little bit at the bottom, but they weren't able to take an entire fort down yet. So that was a solid defense by Team Pentheos, and all of this thanks to them taking those kills during the team fight. And Diablo played a huge role in this one. I mean, Dibbles, honestly, when they lined up in that corridor and he went for the lightning breath, he just barbecued the entire setup. And he was the one that not only killed Mei, but nearly got a kill also against Lucio. So that could have been even worse. It's 2 kills to 1 and a leading experience now for the blue team. Diablo's damage should also have taken up pretty much. He's at 6,000. Expected him to be a bit higher than that even. 16,000 for Tychus. Lunara with a 23k, thanks to all of her damage over time. But yeah, time to get this show on the road here for the next objective. That's going to spawn at the bottom of the map this time. Not a single fort taken out yet. Yeah, Garden of Terror is also a big map, and normally this one lasts quite a long time. It's all about camp control, lane control, making sure that you have a shot at the objective. Maybe you can see even set some kind of two-pronged attack up where you leave a hero on the side lane a little bit longer, get one wave destroyed, let the camp push in, and then your opponent is going to suffer damage one way or another. They're hoping, of course, to get this one. Oh, arrow. Yeah, gets actually dodged out mostly. They steal the camp, and they're getting the kill against Diablo, I guess. Yeah, Dibbles is down. He had the stack, so he will be back in the fight. But that is a win for Team Tino. They stole the camp away. And, well, the seed is spawning. And I've been lying. They only have one seed. I thought they had two. Yeah, I've been lying to you. Look at that. Dirty caster lying to his audience. Blue team doesn't have two seeds. They only have one. So it's not as much of a threat. That fort is gone. And Tychus is gone too. Yeah, Tychus is gone as well. Leo might be able to get out if he has the Wraith Walk. And nope, he's not going to make it either. So 2 kills. Well, at the bot lane, they're going to go for the seed, and this camp is going for the 4-2. Every single time that it feels like Team Tino goes and gets an advantage for themselves, they all of a sudden lose heroes and suffer the consequences. It's actually a bit crazy. So now at the top, at least, this entire wall goes down, and I'm shocked that nobody has reacted to it yet. Relic is making his way over finally, but they still lost the entire wall. So we have 2 seeds now against 0. We have 2 teams on level 16. In this case, the burst fire for our boy, for Junkrat. Yeah, and Lunara has finally dealt with the top lane. Yeah, but 4 kills to 2. And the next seed is going to be pretty important, because that is now the opportunity for a couple of Garden Terrors to push through. And that's a good position also for Team Pentheos. It's a really good one. Yeah. Yeah, again, every single time Team Tino takes a small lead, it seems like they just don't pay attention for a second, and then they run into trouble. Gonda with a pause. I'm not sure if maybe someone dropped here. Doesn't really look like it. Everybody seems to still be in the game. We had multiple of the teams having problems today with voice, so it stands to reason that they're still suffering from that a bit. But yeah, the situation right now is kind of interesting. There's only a single fort that has been destroyed. That's the one at the top. Everything else still fine. And at the top lane, they also lost the entire wall here. Besides that, every single fort is still there. We had a few damaged, but now this tribute is yeah, super important, because we have 2 seeds for the blue team, and the position isn't really that bad for them. Now in the middle, they don't have a fountain, so that's a bit unfortunate. There's no one that can go to a fountain to tap for this. It would be a really different situation if the blue team still had a fountain here, for example. Then they can fight for the seed, and whenever there's a bit of trouble, they simply move down, tap the fountain, and go back into the battle. But now that they don't have that, it's a bit more of an even fight than it usually would be. I still would expect that the blue team is going to try to control the choke point here as much as they can. And they have some nice tools for that. So they can play around the arrow again. They have the bunker that they can also use to body block people a bit, depending on how the fight goes. But every ult is up. So we got Tychus and his Odin also available that they can use to just siege up on this. And the red team kind of needs to win that fight. If they don't lose that fight, I mean, just looking at this, the bottom fort is definitely going to fall. Any kind of thing is going to take it down. The one at the top would also fall. So this is a massive opportunity for Team Pentheos to turn things fully around and take a big lead here. If they can lock in that seed and get a kill or two, and then get the Garden Terrors, there's a massive snowball opportunity for them. And we'll see now if they can use that, because that would hurt. Team Tino would have a big problem on that. Now anyways, as it stands, yeah, they're popping Odin. They need to pop all of their ults. So they're trying to zone the blue team out as best as they can. We have the trap on the ground, multiple ones of them. Leo is just ghosting around here. Ominous Wraith, Royal Focus, trying to reduce damage where he can. Again, keep in mind there's no fountain, but babe, Capybara! Oh no! There's the barbecue again! Diablo, always with these important kills. He gets another one. Hanzo with his arrow, they go for Leo, and he melts away. Leo just melts. And here it is Garden Terror time. And boy, are we talking momentum swing now. 30 seconds, 32 seconds. Ford at the top side doesn't stand a chance. Ford at the bottom is definitely gonna fall. They're going into the middle. They want to go for more. And yes, that is gonna hurt a lot. Mei got melted. She didn't even use Avalanche. A lot of the ults were used by the red team. They got completely caught there. And of course, now the situation in the game has changed drastically. Not only do we have a significant lead in experience for Team Pantheos, but they also take the structural advantage by dropping every single fort. And on top of that, they are now going to try and get a keep. Now, the keep is a bit questionable, but even just opening some of these walls up would be a victory. So that's what they're doing at the bottom as we speak, rotating in for that. Leo has to defend a little bit more at the top, but just taking the towers down and opening the gate up is already such a big win for them. So yeah, this is looking much, much better now for Team Pantheos. They were fighting so hard to bring into Game 5. They were behind as we headed into Game 4. But on Cursed Hollow, they fought so hard to end up in this game. And now they are looking fantastic. Mei, she's getting attacked as well again. And she is melting. Diablo with a lightning breath is always pushing her back so quickly. Look at that gap in experience. Half a level 220. They're thinking about sieging up at the bot lane. They decide against it. They don't want to risk anything. The seeds have, of course, been reset on both of them. But yeah, this is just incredible now. They're doing such a fantastic job. So right now, level 20, they're going to look for that, and then they either will invade the camps even further and try to take everything on the map, paint it blue, or they're going to siege up on some of these structures. There's a level 20, fortified bunker, unfair advantage into intensifying toxins, and we get the Hellgate. So how do they play this now? Now that they got the half-level advantage, they want to break through the top lane. Yeah. Keep might be out of the question, but breaking down that wall, that in and of itself would already be a bit of a win. And of course, having the spell aura here for a little bit longer helps them too. They force out Odin. It has to be used here. Clutter on his Tychus, drops the ult straight away, doesn't even hesitate, knows exactly what's up here. They're burning the camp down as quickly as they can. Leo, by the way, isn't even here right now. He's trying to get them additional XP so they get the early level 20. But yep, they just fall back. 20 versus 20 now. Here we get the talents. Mix and Fire is in. The Entomb upgraded. So now we have the Silence on the Engage. On top of that, the Flash Freeze is also available. Boy, are we heading into some fights now. Level 20 on both sides. We are... Oh, Leo again. What is it with the Korean players today? Just missing their Entombs. The arrow with a triple connect. Oh, Diablo got stopped as he tried to move in. If Junkrat didn't place down those traps, this could have been a disaster. 3 heroes hit by the arrow. That could have been so bad. Gonda wanted to go for the engage, but he couldn't get close enough. So now another seed is gathered. There's a lot of camps still available on the left side of the map. The red team is pretty much pinned down in their base through all of these camps pushing. But it will come down to objectives at this point. Objectives, forcing team fights is going to be absolutely crucial here. What a series. Team Tito could have taken it on Cursed Hollow. They could have taken it there. They were so far ahead, but again, Team Pantheos, they never gave up. Even when it looked like they could not start a comeback anymore, they always believed, they brought it back, they forced Game 5, and now they are ahead here. Ahead in structures, both teams have level 20 though. That's the big caveat here. Storm talents for both, but hello? Mei, down to 50% HP, pretty much instantly, he has to go and tap the fountain. Chattering teeth are chattering away. And here's the Riptire. Burning this one down. Yeah. Just making sure that they can quickly kill it. Has his extra oomph. So yeah. eliminates that. There's the engage, the double stun attempt as they're going straight in, and they kill Lucio. They kill Tigers, they go for the triple kill, and they go for the keep. The ping spam on the keep is right there. They want the keep, they want the core. Team Pentheus, they're so close. They're so close all of a sudden. 3 heroes down. Diablo with a beautiful engage. Gonda with a big brain plays here. IQ 200. And they make another move for Mei. She goes down to, that has to be game. They are trying to go for Junkrat. Lunara also. Hobbity Hop jumping over the leaping strike. What a comeback. Not only in the game, but the series. Team Pentheus, incredible performance by them. Such an amazing grand final. What a fantastic tournament. It is Team Pentheus that locks in the 3-2 victory in the grand final with a 5-man team wipe. And they crown themselves the champions of the FiSH Cup.